Namaskar. Apologies for the slight delay. I had to do a lot of stuff to get to this point. I have a small slide deck, just 3 slides and a video to share with you. I'll just tell you, I was watching this stuff from the morning. I'll tell you how I saw it. Okay. Now, the meeting seemed to be going well, and Zelensky started sharing pictures of people who have returned from the front as to how Russia had, disabled them, made their life horrible. Some of them were emaciated and things of that nature. There were like 10 pictures that they showed, and one of them was actually a pastor. All this was going on fine. Then what happened was the vice president, J.D. Vance, asked Zelensky a question, and what it was, look, we have done so much for you, United States, for you, Ukraine. Are you even thankful for it? Why can't you just tell a simple thanks for what we have done to you? Something to this lines. And Zelensky blew up. At that point of time, Zelensky blew up, and Zelensky's response elicited another response from Trump. Looks like the lunch that was supposed to have taken place between them did not happen. Zelensky was essentially shown the door, and then he went on to Fox and he said, I would like to go back and make the deal. So what exactly happened here? I mean, everything happened so fast. Zelensky is in, Zelensky is out. Let me just show you what has been happening after that. According to Washington Post, this is where things stand right now. Here we go. And I hope you have liked this video. This is a very, very quickly put together video. Is the United States going to pull out of Ukraine? If it does that, who is going to step in? Well, there's a side story to this, and I'll come to that also in just a moment. Now, there was a tense Oval Office exchange. This is after the fact. This is after they had left, and it looks like the lunch fare was eaten by the press people who are attending there, and so on and so forth. Usually, press doesn't get to eat at the White House, I think, unless there is a press dinner, and unless they're invited to a dinner. And so essentially, that just completely broke apart. But then immediately there was damage control, and Zelensky was on Fox saying that he would like to do something. So I don't understand what exactly was Zelensky trying to do there. I mean, he was saying, I'm thankful. At the same time, I mean, he really had some really horrible words to say about Putin. But look, I agree that they were the aggressor, that you did not hit them. But somewhere along the line, he could have stopped short and understood what JD was trying to say. Because this is not because of yesterday or day before. It was because of the last week or so, when upon being ignored at the talks at Saudi Arabia, Zelensky has been taking a bit of a belligerent attitude, and so has Europe. So where is the European angle in this? I'm going to come to that in just a moment. What is happening now is billions in weapons, vehicles, and ammo are on hold as Trump pushes for a stronger peace deal and accountability for American tax dollars. Now, this is also going to trigger a rethink. Will US start looking at aid to any country with a much more critical bent of mind? Is it worth it? What am I doing? What am I getting? What am I giving? All these things I was going to start getting asked. I think this is a very pivotal point in the history of the United States. I know I'm probably saying something that you think I'm exaggerating. I don't, because I saw that reaction and the way Trump just jumped on him. He said, you don't have any cards. I'm going to show you a video of what happened. See, so Zelensky storms out. Okay. Then what happens is that Trump puts out this statement. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage, I want peace in uppercase letters. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. So this was the statement put out. You can see the time, 1:16 p.m. today, East Coast. So a lot happened, guys. Then what happened was, I think he was leaving for Mar-a-Lago. Today is the weekend. And I think this is what the press asked him, and this is what Trump had to say. Here we go.
Mr. President, how long do you think it will take for How long do you think it will take for Zelensky to want peace and be invited back to the White House?
Well, he says he wants it now. He wants to come back right now, but I can't do that.
Are you going to end?
What does Zelensky need to do to restart talks with you?
He's got to say, I want to make peace. He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things. He's got to say, I want to make peace. I don't want to fight a war any longer. His people are dying. He doesn't have the cards, just so you understand it, okay? I can tell you. I don't have to tell you that.
Mr. President,
So,
how long
let
do
me
you
stop
think it will
this.
take?
Repeating again. So essentially what he's saying is Zelensky has to make up his mind whether he wants to fight or he wants peace. And when he says that he's ready for peace, he's welcome back. So what has happened is the conversation went for about 40 minutes before 𝗤𝗎𝗻𝗏 stepped in. Okay, the link to that video is in the reference link section. I've also put some other useful links because there is a twist in the tail. In all these things, there's always a twist in the tail. You know what happened? In December last year, Keir Starmer and Zelensky, that is United Kingdom and Ukraine, signed a 100-year deal. And this deal, UK will help Ukraine in many ways, including perhaps military support. And we don't know if that deal covers extraction of rare earth minerals. So this was something that was known to the Trump administration before this meeting started. Was there like a, I'm selling this property, it is a common prop, it's one, I'm selling the same property to two people? Is that what Zelensky was doing? So there was a certain amount of suspicion about what Zelensky was up to. I'm not taking sides here. I'm not saying Trump is right or wrong. I'm not saying Zelensky is right or wrong. I'm not saying 𝗤𝗎𝗻𝗏 is right or wrong. I'm just telling you the facts of the matter. And the link about what the 100-year deal is also in the reference link section. Do read it because this is developing situation. As it stands right now, my guess is that US is going to suspend all aid to Ukraine. Not only that, even the other things that are genuine, there may be a hard re-look as to what are we getting ourselves in for. Because many of these things are like a bottomless pit and things just keep going and going and going and going. This is not an ever-ready battery to just keep going on. And I think Trump has realized that US is spending way more money than it can afford to spend. It just doesn't have that money. That's what he appears to be saying. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to take some questions from you guys because some of the other things may come out while I'm answering your question. Just give me 1 second, guys, while I line up the questions here because there are lots of questions today, surprisingly. Okay, here we go. Krishna Kishore wants to know, is Zelensky still on drugs talking to POTUS? No, I think after he stormed out of that meeting, he went to Fox. The link to that also is provided in the reference link section. Do watch that video. So he said there that I want to go back and talk peace. So this problem about what happened and why Trump also got angry. 𝗤𝗎𝗻𝗏 may have been some sort of like, at least say thank you. And Zelensky was, even as he was saying thanks, there was something else that was being attached, and then it just went a little bit out of control. I think that Trump was very measured, but you see, the thing is, sometimes the other side also have to understand what kind of cards they have, what kind of things they have. Can Europe step in case US stops? I don't think so. Europe itself is on the brink of disaster. This 100-year deal, I think that's really what may have pissed off 𝗤𝗎𝗻𝗏 and Trump. I think. Okay, I'm not a crystal ball gazer, and I go again. There's only one article that I saw. If you guys start digging more, you will find more things, and there are some YouTube videos also that will give you an understanding of what exactly is this 100-year deal. Is Ukraine already sold out? In that case, there's a problem. Or is this like a deep state play to try and show hawkish snook at Trump? I don't know. That, like I said, this is the beginning of a big story. It's going to be going around for a couple of weeks at least. So stay tuned. That's why I decided to do this thing on a very, very short notice, because I was looking at the stuff and I was saying, okay, even as I was looking at all the breaking news, I said, this is how I'm going to tell this story. Krishna Kishore again asks me on X10 EU had supported Zelensky. Would Trump really pull out? Question is not whether EU supports Zelensky or not. The question is it worth for US to keep fighting this war? And I think that's where the thing comes to. Manoraj wants to know. I don't know, Kishore, the answer to your question, but I think this 100-year deal, just keep looking at that one. Go and find as much as you can what exactly is there. Was Ukraine, or did Ukraine already sell its mineral rights to the United Kingdom? And in exchange for what? Maybe Trump is calling UK's bluff. He's saying, you go and do it. Now let me sit back and watch how you will support Ukraine. It's a mess. It's a big mess. That's all I can say. So Manoraj wants to know, how come UK and USA are able to have smooth talk, though they have opposite stance in the war? That's a good question, Manoraj. Yesterday, Keir Starmer was in DC, was meeting with Trump. There was a press conference after that too. We did not have an inkling of all these things. Although I'm sure US knew, hey, heck, if I know about the 100-year deal, I'm sure US knew about it too. So somewhere something happened, and this was completely unexpected, it looks like. Krishna Kishore wants to know, Zelensky seems to be remote control. What's going on? I wish I knew, but I do know this. Within an hour or so, Zelensky was on Fox News. I've given you the link. Do take a look at that video. And here's a good question from 𝗪𝗪𝗍 Ghosh. Why did Zelensky come to the US in the first place if he did not want to sign the mineral deal? Good question. Very good question. And here is Desiree's comment. Both Vance and Trump are total bullies, disgraceful behavior, US in bed with the Russians, hence the gold card. Vance showed his true colors. Do not trust US. Trump is a liar. Desiree, I think I'd like people to watch these videos and make up their own minds. It didn't look like they were acting like a bully, personally speaking. I'm an independent. I hold no brief for Trump. But it did not look like that. They were just a little piqued, Piqued, that Zelensky was not, thankful enough or something like that, or his thanks didn't seem to have that, heartfelt feeling to it. That's how it looked like to me. Whatever it is, see, again, like I said, this is not today's speech, today's meeting. It is something that has been brewing for a few days. And I think that's how you should take a look at it. But if he was going to say no, why even take the trouble to come across to US and do it? See, sometimes what happens is you do this posturing and you think that you can stand down the other guy, and that's where things get a little out of control. 𝗖𝗓𝗏 says, Zelensky said he would resign if that would achieve peace. Resign now. Parkle says, Trump is wrong. Okay, here's the next question. Manoraj, will this push EU to move away from USD as a global currency? Manoraj, the hard truth is EU does not also have a lot of cards. They are bloated and they need to really have their own DOGs, and I don't know if they can even do that. I've heard people say who are working in France that near impossible to fire anybody from even companies. That's how strong the unions are. That's how strong the laws are. And when you have something like that, change could be very, very difficult. I don't know where this is headed, frankly. Was this a moonshot by UK? Moonshot means like, I'm going to throw this thing as far as I can. If it goes to the moon, good. Well, otherwise, at least I tried. Is it something like that? I expect somebody else to come flying in. Something is going to happen in the next couple of days. Stay tuned. We are looking at it. We are ahead of this news curve. So do look to watch PGurus, and then also share this link to all your friends as you are waking up in India. This is not good news. Manoraj wants to know, can US survive if it loses global currency? I believe USD global currency, making them print and lend money using quantitative easing and still not raising inflation. Manoraj, This is a complex question. I have been doing a series on gold. Do watch that series. 3 episodes are done. 4th will be coming out in a day or two. There's another one planned, 5. A total of 5 episodes on gold and various countries, various viewpoints, various perspectives, as well as tying USD back to the gold. All these things are discussed. Do take a look at that. You'll get an opinion. You can make your own viewpoint. Do watch many YouTube videos on gold. Gold is now the flavor of the channels. Right now, everybody's talking about gold, and that includes PGurus also. Okay. Gamers Galore wants to know, is a Champions Trophy fixed in your opinion? Gamers, I am going to, okay, let me answer this question. I've lost interest in cricket over the last few tournaments, because if you notice, there is one team that gets hyped like no end, and then that team loses in the finals. That means it's being done to a certain outcome. Okay, and if somebody is fixing matches, they would want to really fatten the cow, if you will, or something like that before cutting it. Sorry to have a very crude example, but something like that seems to be happening in the last few championship games, and India does not cover itself in glory. It happened, I think, a few years ago when Virat Kohli was the captain, and against it's okay. I think it was against Pakistan. There was a final which India ended up losing, and it was a road of a track, and India won the toss and elected to field. And within like the first few overs, the critical batsman's catch was shelled, and the guy went on to make a century, and India lost that game. And that's when I knew that these guys are throwing the game. So I won't blame the players. They're all compromised because of other reasons. And the Bollywood that came in through IPL is really ruining cricket, in my opinion. It's really sad. That's all I'll say. I really don't even watch anymore. IPL is like a tamasha as far as I'm concerned. The bowlers give graveyard. Those guys, bowlers get hit all over. I would like to see a match like 145, 150 runs to chase in 20 overs, where the ball and the bat are having equal power. That's what goes for an absorbing match, because there'll be twists and turns, and it makes for a very interesting viewing. But that's just me. Rahul Bharadwaj, can India help in any way on this impasse? No, I don't think so. India is just going to sit on the sidelines and see what's going on. I mean, I don't think India can do really much. Garners galore again, or gamers galore again. Any chance you can get Vivek on your channel, since he has now announced his governor? And yes, we are trying to get Vivek on our channel. Stay tuned. There we go. Thought Provocateur wants to know, will Zelensky be liquidated by those in Ukraine who want to end the war and are frustrated with the miniature dictator? There are some things happening in the Ukraine parliament. That is the other thing. Because of this, there is a move to, I think, impeach Zelensky. Something is going on there to follow it. Like I said, this is the first in a series of stories that are going to be coming out. Just stay tuned. A lot of things are happening. The next few hours, you'll see a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. That much I'm sure. And this is going to be one heck of a weekend, because if US stops aiding, Ukraine will just collapse. Thought Provocateur wants to know, I think now it gives Trump a very justified chance to look away from this useless war. I don't think US will also drop them, because look, if thousands of soldiers are dying on both sides. Why do you want to prolong that? Krishna Kishore says, Zelensky had the same attitude when Modiji met. Sir, what's your 2 cents on this? Would you go rogue, leading to World War III? I really don't know what cards Ukraine has. If United States stops giving them money or aid in the form of weaponry, what else can you do? I'm really seriously asking. I have friends in Ukraine. We have worked on projects together. Very, very smart, very bright people, and they are not very expensive. I really don't know what's going to happen next, and I'm sad for Ukraine. Perhaps this could have been handled differently on both sides. And I mean, this is a press conference. You're having a real showdown. in the press conference. Do watch that. It's like sensational. Better than any soap opera. Better than any mega serial. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. I'll be back, I'm sure, with more updates on this one. Stay tuned. Namaskar.